Hey, what's going on everyone over on the channel? My name is Scott and I'm back with you guys again for another video. In this video, I'm going to be quickly going over the patch notes coming out in tonight's patch for EU and tomorrow morning's patch for NA. It is the same patch, but it just has different time periods depending on where in the world you live. It did do a few things to adjust gameplay and balance, the first of which being that it adjusted melee damage. Melees now inflict double the damage when you hit things like Sage's Barrier or those metal double doors on Haven. Now, why did they do this? They did this because on pistol rounds, basically, they felt like you could put a Sage wall up and it was basically impossible to break with your pistols, or the enemy team would rotate and find them trying to break it and it would just be a free win. So they felt like Sage's walls were a little bit too powerful on pistol rounds. They also did do a little bit of a nerf to Raze. They nerfed her paint shells down from 2 to 1. Paint shells now have a kill reset, requiring players to get 2 kills to refresh the cooldown. They tuned and adjusted the audio for paint shells, blast pack, and showstopper so that they will be easier to hear in hectic scenarios. They also fixed a few other small issues with Raze where her clusters would make too much noise, things like that. I'll actually have this blog post linked down in the description if you guys want to go read all of these things for yourself. One other thing I think I'd mention before I move on to the map updates is that the slow orb for Sage has also been nerfed, meaning that you can no longer b-hop through it and get through it a lot faster. I guess that was a problem when examining these Sage characters. The Sage character didn't really get nerfed or buffed, she kind of just got adjusted a little bit, one way positive, one way negative. Now moving on to the map updates, they fixed all of the, not all of them, but the exploits that were known on Bind, Haven, and Split. So if you guys had seen, there were some exploits where you could get a camera from Cypher up above the map boundary, and that was kind of broken. That was all over Twitter for a few days. And they also moved one of the orbs on Split, the ultimate orbs. You guys know what that is, where you walk over to them, collect them, and you get your ultimate a little bit faster. They moved that from B mid to B main on Split. So if you guys are familiar with the Split map, you guys will know what I'm talking about. And then they also did some quick quality of life improvements. I'm not going to go into these too in detail because it mainly just talks about how some ISPs, which is short for internet service providers, and network setups were throttling game traffic, and it was impacting gameplay. So they basically fixed that a little bit. It was impacting FPS and network latency, so things like that. They also mentioned some bug fixes. I'm going to finish off with here some server crashes, Cypher's spy cam, some bugs with that. And yeah, guys, that's really all they had to say in this blog post. It was overall a pretty good patch, nothing too crazy going on, but definitely some good balancing by Raze and Sage. I think, those abilities were a little too strong, and I'm happy that they did nerf them a little bit. And that's really all I had to talk about in this video, so I'm sure I'll be seeing you guys again as the week goes on and we get more news for more patches, things like that coming out in Valorant. This was Scott, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.